Zero Sum Game, Episode 6, Zero Sum Game. The final battle is just days away now, and Viv and Maeve have rallied their people to Alafast after a journey to plant explosives around the continent. Back at Ground Zero, Nate and Dean bring Jazz up to speed on everything that has been kept from her. I can't believe this, Jazz howls. And for all these years, you three have been lying to me? We're supposed to be a family! Jazz paces back and forth. Family doesn't lie. We don't lie to each other after everything we've been through. And with something this severe, you two knew it was this bad, didn't you? And you let her take control? I can't believe I didn't see it sooner. She was so busy taking care of you that she was losing it, Jazz accuses, pointing her finger at Dean and Nate. Don't go accusing us of anything. You were so enamored by her that you didn't see past what was right in front of you, Dean yells back. The only thing we can do now is stop Viv before she does something that she'll regret, right? Dean articulates. Right, Nate agrees. Because family also gets each other out of messes. That's what she did for us, right? 10 years ago? She took care of us. Now we just need to get her out of this. All right, Jazz says, still irritated but able to move forward past this for a moment. I on some level understand why you did it, but I'm still incredibly mad at you for not coming to me sooner. Then, an idea begins to whirl in her head. You said Maeve went off with her, right? She asks. Yeah, Nate responds, looking mildly uncomfortable doing so. Okay, then, I know just the person to help us. Now, let's go for a drive. Jazz takes a deep breath to calm her nerves. She was back at the barn. More specifically, she was standing in front of Maeve's house. Except Maeve wasn't here, and she was with Dean and Nate, without Viv. A lot has changed since the last time she was here, and I don't think he even knows I was here, Jazz thinks. She sighs, and then knocks on the door. Here goes nothing. May, is that you? A man opens the door, who looks about 3 years older than her. When he sees Jazz, his face sags, from pure hope and joy to a slight grump and sadness. Who are you? Why are you here? Hi, Jazz says. I'm Jazz. I know your sister, and I think she's gotten herself into a bit of a situation. So you're telling me my baby sister is off planning the destruction of our planet? Jude asks. I know it's hard to believe, but Jude cuts her off. That's not hard to believe. It's impossible. He sits down at the table that he ushered Jazz, Nate, and Dean to before they started their story. My May, she's too sweet, too kind to do something like this. I knew she was headed to do something big with some organization, but I had no idea. Neither did I, Jazz says, comfortingly. My partner, well, she kept a lot of secrets from me, she continues to say. looking at Nate and Dean, and then looking down in shame. But we didn't come here just to tell you this. We need your help. With what? He asks, a glint of hope peeking in his eyes. The farmlands may be spread out, but from what I've heard, everyone knows each other around here. Is that correct? Jude nods. Yeah, but I don't really know what that has to do with anything. Well, Jazz smiles. I might just have a plan to stop Viv and Maeve in their tracks, and the farmlands has a big role to play in that. The next 3 days, Jazz, Nate, Dean, and Jude dedicate their time to recruiting and creating diffuses for the bombs placed around the planet. Though they don't know where each bomb is, they have figured each would be placed in a major city or area: Cersei, Sun City, the farmlands, and Alifast. So, to combat that, they have asked their new recruits to stand by in case the areas in which they think these weapons are change. Jazz feels sick. I don't know if I can face her again, she thinks. Not like this. I don't want things to end worse than they already have between us. I'm scared. I love her, and I don't want to hurt her. Why didn't she tell me her plans? Why didn't she tell me? I know I may not be the best partner at times, and I know I'm scattered. I know I'm forgetful. I know we fight, but if she had just talked to me, maybe I could have helped her. Maybe not down this path. Maybe I could have prevented it. If I had only known. If I had only seen what was right in front of me. That she was hurting more than all of us. The day that everyone's been waiting for has finally arrived. Viv, Maeve, and their army are prepared to storm the capital. And Jazz, Nate, Dean, and Jude are waiting for them. Are you ready? Someone asks from behind her. She turns around, a little surprised. Dean, Nate, hi. Yeah, I'm ready. Dean nods, looking to Nate. We're really sorry, they say. About what? She asks. All of it. We're sorry for lying to you. That was wrong. I didn't want to let Viv down. She was so invested. Jazz leans in, embracing both Nate and Dean. It's okay. Let's just get her back. The morning light really begins to brighten the Capitol steps that Jazz stands on. The building she stands in front of glows in the warmth of the sun. If she didn't know what was coming, she'd think it was a beautiful day. But she can't. Not now. The tension in the air thickens like heat. Jazz came before everyone else, so she could feel the last drops of peace before she came. Hey, Nate says breathlessly as they run up to greet Jazz. I just updated the officials inside on the plan. Hopefully it won't escalate to it, but They're prepared. Jazz nods. Are you okay? I know this must be hard. It is. Jazz smiles through the pain. Is everything in place? Jazz asks, taking in the landscape before her. Yeah, Dean and Jude should be coming in a few. All of our recruits are stationed around the continent, and we've got a few extra watchful eyes just in case. Jazz eyes the surrounding buildings, and sure enough, on the rooftops, she could see shadows of what she thinks to be people. She sighs, and then looks to Nate. I don't think I'm ready for this, she says. Neither am I. She hears marching in the distance. Here we go, she says to herself, and looks around. Dean and Nate are on either side of her, standing strong, looking forward. Jazz looks to her right, and Jude is on the other side of Dean. She looks to him, and he looks back. She tries reading his expression, but it's hard. He looks nervous. Well, they all are. She smiles at him, and he nods. We'll get through this, she thinks, and takes a hand from Dean and from Nate, squeezing them tightly. There she comes. From a distance, Jazz can hear her marching, and after a moment, she sees her. Viv. Is she smirking? Maybe. Just to Viv's right is Maeve. Jazz can't read her either, but something doesn't seem right. Ah, you came. How fun, Jazz says, stopping at the bottom step of the Capitol building. Yes I did, Jazz says, looking down to meet Viv's gaze. A glint of pride appears on her face, as if Viv knew she'd be here. Well, either way, we're taking over Alafast and the rest of this planet. No, you're not, Jazz demands, taking one step down. We won't let you. Oh, won't you? Viv takes a step up, leveling with her a little more. You don't have it in you to stop me. Jazz grits her teeth. There's more to me than you think. Well, if there's more to you, she says, taking another step up, then how is it that I fooled you all these years? She and Viv are now only a step apart. Their faces are so close they could be touching. The anger inside of Jazz is now boiling. Because I loved you, Jazz whispers. Didn't you? Or were you just lying about that too? This takes Viv aback. She steps down. What are you talking about? Of course I did. Jazz must have hit a nerve, so she continues. If you did, you wouldn't have lied to me. You would know better than to do this. Any of this. Jazz opens up her arms, motioning around her. Viv scoffs, and then breaks down in laughter. I was doing this for us, Jazz. All of this was for the four of us. Viv points to Dean and Nate behind Jazz. She turns slightly to see how they're holding up. Not well, she thinks. Both Nate and Dean look close to tears. This isn't fair. Stop this, Jazz demands. Do you realize what you're doing? You are going to destroy everything, and us along with it. It's better than the alternative, Viv yells. She can see the anger spilling out of her now. That woman that you are protecting, she is the cause of all of this. She needs to pay for what she did to us, to our city, to our home. Tears swell in Jazz's eyes. I know. It's not fair. It's not fair at all, but we can't destroy the world for the actions of one person. There's another way. There's always another way, Viv. No, there isn't. Don't you realize that? That tyrant you are so willing to protect will never listen to us. Not unless we do something drastic. Jazz steps closer. I'm not protecting her, she says calmly, looking down to see an activation button in Viv's hand. I'm protecting you. She puts a hand on Viv's shoulder. This isn't the way to get what we want. It'll get us nowhere. And right before she's able to grab the button out of her hand, Viv's eyes widen, stepping away from Jazz and murmuring, I'm so sorry, before pressing activate. This has been Zero Sum Game, Episode 6, Zero Sum Game. I would like to thank Ben Sounds and Adobe Stock for all of the music that you have heard throughout this episode. And a special thanks to everyone who has been listening to this series.